cover the topic of qualitative research. Classification systems for the types of research, such as analytic research, descriptive research, experimental research, and qualitative research. Generally, there are two broad types. 1. Quantitative research. It relies on numerical analysis or the quantification of data. In other words, quantitative research tends to focus on analysis, like taking apart and examining components of a phenomenon. 2. Qualitative research, which focuses on searching for meaning. It seeks to understand the meaning of an experience to the participants in a specific setting and how the components mesh to form a whole. Qualitative research is a type of descriptive research. It focuses on searching for meaning. It seeks to understand the meaning of an experience to the participants in a specific setting and how the components mesh to form a whole. Quantitative research methods typically involve precise measurements, rigid control of variables, and statistical analyses. Qualitative research methods generally include field observations, case studies, ethnography, and narrative reports. Characteristics of qualitative research and experimental quantitative research are contrasted in this table. The objectives of qualitative research methods are primarily description, understanding, and meaning. The researcher does not manipulate variables through experimental treatments but takes more interest in process than in product. The data collection occurs in the natural setting. There are no preconceived hypotheses, which characterize quantitative research. Rather, qualitative research strives to develop hypotheses from the observations. In other words, qualitative research emphasized induction, while quantitative research largely emphasizes deduction. Quantitative research in physical education, exercise science, and sports science is still relatively new. What is qualitative research? According to the textbook, qualitative research is an umbrella concept covering several forms of inquiry that focus on understanding and explain meaning of a social phenomena. Research methods have been employed in anthropology, psychology, and sociology for many years. This general form of research has been called by various names, including narrative, ethnography, naturalistic, life history, interpretive, grounded, phenomenological, and critical theory. Although the approaches are all slightly different, each bears a strong family resemblance to the others. There is no superiority associated. Traditionally, quantitative research has sometimes viewed by some researchers as more scientific, prestigious, and valuable. In fact, there is no superiority associated with either methodology. The superior method is the one that can answer your research question. Both quantitative methods can be combined. Sometimes we call it mixed methodology. It is not an either/or situation. That is, both quantitative and qualitative methods will be used in a single study. Procedures in qualitative research. Define the problem. We can use several possible methods to answer any research question. The different methods can yield different information about the problem. Therefore, when the researcher decides to use qualitative research as opposed to some other design, the decision is based on what he or she wants to know about the problem. Formulate the hypotheses and theoretical framework. Qualitative research usually builds hypotheses and theories in an inductive manner as a result of the observations. Most qualitative studies do not have hypotheses as a part of the introduction. It is common for the researchers to state questions that will be the focus of the study. The research questions provide the direction that is the research focus. For example, what is the perspective of children in a competitive youth sport program? Focuses the study and provides a great deal of information about the research direction. Training. Several components are involved in collecting data for qualitative research. Training and pilot work are still necessary, and so is selecting participants appropriately. In qualitative research, the investigator is the instrument for collecting and analyzing the data. It is important that the researcher be adequately prepared. Coursework, fieldwork reports, and interaction with your advisor are helpful, but the most important way to become competent is through hands-on experience. As always, pilot work is essential, and fieldwork experience in a setting similar to the study is recommended. The participants are selected because they have certain characteristics. Probability sampling is not used, simply because there is no way to estimate the probability of each person's being selected and no assurance that each person has some chance of being included. Instead, the selection of participants in qualitative research is purposeful, which in essence means that a sample from which one can learn the most is selected. The researcher must have access to the field setting to conduct a qualitative study. Moreover, the researcher must be able to observe and interview the participants at the appropriate time and location. Qualitative research involves a number of ethical considerations simply because of the intensive personal contact with the participants. Therefore, the participants need to know that provisions will be followed to safeguard their rights of privacy and to guarantee anonymity.